Hi everyone, welcome to the tutorial on how to respond to an RFQ. Once you access Enquires and you log into your account or your profile, if your documentation is up to date and compliant, you'll be able to access your dashboard where RFQs, requests for information, any type of request from procurement or buyers or interested parties will come into your dashboard. You'll get notified by email or SMS that there is an inquiry coming through. Once the inquiry comes through via email and you come into your account, any type of request can be accessed within the request for quote section. So feasibility study, tenders, cost estimates, orders, request for quotes, request for pricing, request for information, any type of request will come into this space here. Once you so you can either access request for quotes via this icon or you can access it via the menu bar. Once you're inside, any unclaimed or new transactions will be visible within the unclaimed grid. Okay, so whoever is responsible or whoever needs to respond to this quote can come in and click on the claim button. Once they claim that transaction, they then become the responder and the person responsible for this quote. Once that happens, once you claim the transaction, as you can see here, the batch number becomes a hyperlink that you can actually click on to access the transaction. Click on the transaction. Now it will give you a breakdown of the RFQ itself. It will, if there are terms and conditions that need to be accepted before you can actually accept this request for quote, you can see that within this little quick view tab. Obviously, this is demo documentation. You can also see a summary of the docs attached, so you can go through all the documentation of the required items before you actually accept it. You can see that the request intention is very clear. It's a request for quote. They've asked for 90 days in terms of your quote pricing. So this needs to be taken into account when quoting or responding to this request. It then gives a breakdown of all the documentation. So the item is a ball valve. This is just an example. And then design and installation of the ball valve. So there is a product and obviously a service linked to it. And it will give any specifications. So all the documentation that the buyer will need to put into this request will be accessed within this document structure here. And obviously, once you go into the transaction, you'll have access to this documentation as well. Okay, so any documentation that needs to be filled out and uploaded, you can download these documents. You can quick view them. So everything is accessible within this document structure. Once you've filled out the documents, which I'll expand on when we go into the transaction, you can just upload them. Okay, so once you're happy with this and you feel comfortable that you would like to actually respond to this request, you can accept the terms and conditions. Once you accept the terms and conditions, it gives you an accept button. Obviously, you can decline if there's a reason why you don't want to respond, or you can't, or you don't have stock, or whatever it might be. And once you're happy with everything, you click on the accept button and you're able to access the transaction. So I'm going to stop here. This was part 1, and I will continue in the next video and expand on how to actually respond within this structure. Thanks, guys.